Right, fellas, that European season didn't quite go as deep as he wanted to. Bayern Munich, good team and all, but still not a great effort. But we get the chance to bounce back here. League Cup, we're hot favourites. Looking for our 8th one. Let's win it for the back-to-back times, okay, boys? Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 105 of Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and coming up in today's episode we try and win our 8th League Cup of this save as we do start off in the semi-finals against our fellow European team from this past season here in Iceland in Fylkir, and hopefully if we get by those guys we will have a final coming up against one of Nuts KR or Akranes. So if you are looking forward to today's episode, which also does include a new player to the club, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But we are back to doing domestic episodes. Obviously that means things did not go well for us in the Champions League knockouts. If you missed the second leg of our tie yesterday against Bayern Munich, I'll leave a link to that over in the top right corner. Also included in that episode was a bit of a look at the coefficient once we did bow out of European football, and we did also have a look at some potential transfer targets for this current window that we are in, and we have got one of those players across the line. Unfortunately, he's not going to be available for us in the remainder of the deal, but he should be back for the start of the league season, so hopefully you'll see him on camera in tomorrow's episode, and that player, it would be easier actually to see him when we do go over to the medical centre. That player is Kalin Rakasan, the Romanian striker come Mazala, who we have signed to come in for Nathaniel Satole. In the first team, he cost us £3.9 million with that release clause. We talked him around into joining. He joins us with a torn hamstring. He's out for about another 3 weeks, but he does look like a very, very good player, more accomplished as a striker, but with that 9 finishing, he has some very good vision, technique. I think he's going to be better off as a midfielder for us, as a Mazzala. You can see his attributes there. He is a lot better than our current option there in Nathaniel Satole. So no changes to the team in today's episode, but he has joined the club and will be our starting Mazzala for the upcoming league and European season. Still working on bringing in a new centre-back to the club. Elias Anderson does not quite still want to join us here, and we've also actually identified someone else who might be a little bit of an upgrade on him as well. So we've got 2 options we're trying to work on at centre-back, whichever one does present themselves as wanting to come to the club more first is the one that we will probably sign. But Kalin Rakazan is the new member here at Völsungur since yesterday's episode when we did have a look at transfer targets. He's had a good career so far at Cluj, albeit most of that playing as a striker. Hopefully he can carry that form over here to Völsungur, and you can see there is value already is above the release clause that we did pay for him. So that does look like at the moment a good bit of business. So we've already improved the midfield leading into the next European season, which we will get into early on next week. But before we do get into the first game of today's episode, the Dieldbekar semi-final against Fylkir, a very tasty matchup. Of course, us making the Champions League group stage against Fylkir, who were in the group stage of the Conference League this past season. We did have one game just to confirm that we did make our way into the semi-finals of the Dieldbekar. We did need a draw out of our last group game against Fram Reykjavik, and in the end we picked up a very, very comprehensive 7-0 win. So we go through the group stage undefeated, a very, very good win there away from home. They picked up a late red card, but by that stage the damage had well and truly already been done. So we are in the semi-finals of this competition. If we go forward to the semi-finals, there you can see how things do stack up. We take on Fylkir, and if we can get past those guys, we will play the winner of Nuts KR and Akranes later on in today's episode. A quick look at Fylkir before we do play this first game and have a look at our team going into this one. Fylkir, as I said, were the team that did qualify for the group stage of the Conference League this past European season. So they're definitely a team that we do need to respect, but a team that we should be beating. If we do have a look at the early season odds for the Islands deal, and you can see that they are ranked 5th. We are red hot favourites yet again for the Islands deal. And so really any domestic game that we do play We should be winning it, but Fylkir coming off the back of some European football might be one of our toughest tests in a while here domestically, but hopefully we can get the job done over these guys. We are putting out, for the most part, our first choice 11 for this game. A few changes that we did run through in yesterday's episode that we were looking at making. Basalo Gay comes into the halfback role. He's gone up to 4-star current ability. That's because we've been playing him as a centre-back after Gabriel Corbo did leave in the backup team, but he makes his way now into that DM role now that we have ended our European season. The other notable change is that Karel Giroux gets his first start on camera in that box-to-box midfield role, a player that we did unveil yesterday that we had signed, the Czech box-to-box midfielder. He comes in to replace Nicolusi Caviglia, who is down on the bench on a 5-man bench for these cup competitions. But apart from that pretty similar team, we do have Duprisco and Ramadan at the back. And Nathaniel Satole for now will continue to be our Mazala until Kalan Rakazan does recover from that injury. We are over our foreigner limit in the starting 11 for league games, but in the cup, it does not matter how many foreign players that you do start, so we can get away with starting Nathaniel Satole up until Kalan Rakazan does recover from that injury. But just those two changes, Guy and Giroux, and also our centre-back combination for now of Duprisco and Ramadan. It's a pretty strong lineup. Hopefully these guys can back up as well in the cup final if we can make it that far, and we'll come back shortly and try to make our way through to a final to win our 8th League Cup of the save, taking on Fylkir away from home. And up to the 11-minute mark for our first proper highlight of this game. We did have a chance at the 7-minute mark, but John Matthews blasted it well wide, so I think this is the first chance. We will show you guys Benjamin Rubio that chance a lot better, but just puts it wide so far. A promising start, but still 0-0 approaching the 15-minute mark. And about halfway through this first half, 24 minutes gone, we do have our next highlight, Frederick Larson lining up a long throw and puts it in towards Benjamin Rubio, who does head that back out to Frederick Larson. Far post, Zimmerman puts that over the bar. That's our best chance so far, but still locked up here at 0-0. And about 10 minutes shy of half time, we do have the next highlight is a corner which Giroux does put in to the mixer. Can't quite pick out the head of either Ramadan or Duprisco, but we do get possession back here. We might be able to create one more chance here. Hopefully get some reward for our domination so far in this game against our fellow European team here in Fylkir. Nice ball there from Giroux. Can't quite link up with Zimmerman, but the ball does come back to him here, and we're still in possession just outside of the box. Nice play here out to Alejandro Meza. He needs to impress early on this season. A great chance again there through Zimmerman. Somehow can't quite get the tap in the back of the net. Some really good chances here in this first half, but somehow it's still 0-0. And it is half time in this League Cup semi-final. It is still locked up here 0-0 at the Fylkir's Volla. This is a pretty good performance from us so far, but I think we're just looking slightly clunky. Maybe a few new additions to our first rotation, still getting used to where they are playing in this team, but we're playing well enough. We should really be 1-0 up here, but pretty happy with how everyone is playing, and hopefully we can get the goal nice and early here in the second half and try and make our way through to yet another League Cup final. And about 10 minutes into the second half, we do have our first highlight of it, a chance here from a free kick for Nathaniel Satole. Tries to put this top left corner, really good save that from Helgeson. That was on target, so it's a crucial save there from the Fylkir goalkeeper, but we will have a chance potentially here from a corner. Giroux tries to pick out Frederick Larson there at the near post, can't quite pick him out. Satole plays that all the way back to our defence, and at the 55-minute mark, it is still somehow 0-0. And not too long off the back of that first highlight in this half, it was briefly Fylkir there in possession, but a good interception there, and Zimmerman tries to drive forward. Nice ball out there for Frederick Larson. He takes the shot on himself. Maybe should have tried to play that in for Benjamin Rubio. It goes wide yet again at the hour mark, and it is still 0-0 as we'll probably try and lift the tempo here to try and break through in this one. And up to the 68-minute mark, we have yet another free kick here in the second half. This time, Benjamin Rubio will try and put this top right corner, goes just over the bar. Well and truly on top of Fylkir in this game, but it does remain 0-0 with 20 minutes left. And not too long off the back of that last highlight, we do have our first player down to a red heart. It is Basaro Gay. That does make sense because he has been playing for the backup team in this competition so far. Stamatas Chatzakis to come on for him inside the last 20 minutes. And a few minutes later, we've got another player down to a red heart, Frederick Larson. So coming on for him will be, at the moment, higher rated current ability-wise on stars anyway, Chaka Traore. And now with just over 10 minutes left, we do have quite a few players out there on red hearts. What I think we are going to do is bring on Fabio Maliano for Nicholas Zimmerman, try and get a bit of goal scoring touch up front, because despite our dominance with only 10 minutes left, we are still locked up here at 0-0. And up to the 83-minute mark, we finally have something else happening here in the second half, and it is from open play, a throw-in. They do deal with it there, do Fylkir. Ramadan nearly gets the ball back from us there. It's a poor pass though from Fylkir, and Fabio Maliano, far post, Chaka Traore. Two substitutes do link up, and after 83 minutes, finally we have a well and truly deserved goal in the semi-final. Fylkir have been holding on well. We've been a little bit wasteful with our chances, but in the end it's a poor pass there. Fabio Maliano is able to get on the end of it, puts that in from the right-hand side of the box for Chaka Traore. It just gets inside that right-hand upright, and finally it's 1-0 Völsungur in the semi-final. And up to the 88-minute mark now, another highlight, this time a throw-in on the other side. Matthews finds Rubio back to Mariano. Matthews far post again, trying to pick out Chaka Traore. Kant and Fylkir might potentially have a chance here on the counter-attack. They get out to the winger, who I believe was the player who gave that ball away poorly before, albeit Satole with the interception, and now Chaka Traore makes his way down the left-hand side. Good impact from him, but it's a very weak shot straight at the goalkeeper. It will remain 1-0 for now, but we are about to enter injury time in this one. We've been well and truly the better team, but only hold a 1-0 lead. One more highlight here as we do start to enter injury time, and yet again, Chaka Traore down the left-hand side. He gets brought down there. It was a pretty soft penalty, that one, but it has been given. It was from a very tight angle. Not a great option there, and Nathaniel Satole gets the chance to seal things for us, and he does, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and after having to battle to get our first goal throughout the first 80 or so minutes of that one, we finally pull clear in the last 10 minutes or so, grab our second goal, albeit from the penalty spot in injury time, and we will be making our way through to yet another League Cup final after defeating Fylkir 2-0. Very good performance, albeit not quite as clinical in front of goal as we would like, but encouraging signs, especially because that is the first time a lot of these players have played together in the same team and in these new roles that we do want them to fill for this upcoming season. So it's a good start, especially against the team who did make the group stages of a European competition last season. Probably one of the toughest tests we are going to have domestically in this upcoming season against a team like Fylkir, as well as against a team like HK, who are usually there or thereabouts and have got quite a few players off us in this transfer window, as we did show you guys in yesterday's episode. But in the end, that is a good win, even if it did take a little bit longer than we would have liked. And that means that we do have a final coming up for the second game of today's episode, and it is going to be against Akranes off the back of a 1-0 win away from home there against Nuts KR. So we should be coming back for that shortly, a League Cup final, trying to make it our 8th of this save against Akranes. And just coming back before we do get into that League Cup final, because we are making a few rotational changes to our team for this one. We've got quite a few players out there who are quite injury prone at the moment. I suppose the combination of Champions League knockout football and League Cup football does mean there's a few players who might be in need of the rest off the back of this League Cup, with about a month or so until we do start the domestic league campaign. So a few changes that we have made. Thiago Polo comes in at the back for Ali Ramadan. We have Galtason coming back in for Basaroge. He's a little bit tired, of course, did play for the backup team before that last game in the semi-final, so that's obviously why he's probably a little bit tired, but Galtason gets one more chance there in the DM role. The same applies for Nicolucci, Caviglia, Karel Giroux, getting quite a few games in the League Cup recently, so he's also a little bit injury prone. So Caviglia gets one more run out there in the box-to-box midfield role. Hopefully doesn't get sent off in today's episode. And apart from that, our front three is exactly the same as usual. Just having a quick look at our opposition in this League Cup final. They're a team who have made European qualifying a few times over the past few seasons, but haven't been able to quite get into the group stages of a competition. But they do have a decent team here. Do Akranes predicted to be finishing 9th according to the season preview for this upcoming one. So they should be a little bit weaker than Fylkir, but they're usually not too bad of a team domestically, Akranes. But it should certainly be a game that we are capable of winning, and we'll come back shortly and hopefully make it our 8th League Cup of the save and our second one in a row. And only 1 minute into this final, we do have our first highlight is a corner, and Thiago Polo gets his head on the end of that. He is an absolute weapon from corners. He's really staking his claim to keep his place in this first choice 11. He opens the scoring very early on here at the Husavik Heroes. You can see there in the background, that's kind of showing that our ground is under construction at the moment for that expansion, but that is a great start after only 2 minutes. We go 1-0 up here in the League Cup final. We do have a highlight at the 5-minute mark as well, a free kick. We try and play a ball over the top there for Benjamin Rubio. They do hit it clear, but only as far out as Nathaniel Satole. Unfortunately, not too long off the back of that. We do give possession back to Akranes in the yellow and black, very much similar to Young Boys of Switzerland. We try and find Frederick Larsen out there on the left-hand side, but the Akranes goalkeeper does deal with it, and DePrisco gets that out to Alejandro Meza down the left-hand side. Frederick Larsen back there for Satole. Can we grab a cushion goal nice and early in this final? Great chance for Rubio. It's pinging around inside the inner box, but no one can get a shot off there on target. Still 1-0 early on here in this League Cup final, but not too long off the back of that. We do have another free kick here. Nathaniel Satole tries to put this top right corner right off the corner crossbar, and it does go back out there to an Akranes defender. They do clear it. We'll wait and see if anything else does come from this highlight. Good tackle there from Caviglia, and the scoreline does remain 1-0 at the 9-minute mark. We have a corner not too long off the back of that. DePrisco puts it wide, 1-0, coming up to the 10-minute mark. Up to the 18-minute mark for our next highlight. Benjamin Rubio with a free kick tries to put this top left corner just a little bit too far down the middle and just over the bar. We are creating a lot of chances so far in this game from set piece, especially Thiago Polo from corners, and here is another one. He can't quite get his hand on the end of this one, but the ball does fall back out to Frederick Larsen. He tries to put that into the top right corner just over the bar. Still 1-0 Völsungur after 20 minutes. And pretty shortly off the back of that last highlight, we do have another. It's a throw in here for Akranes, but they give the ball straight to Zimmerman. Rubio back for Satole yet again. We blast that over the bar, creating a lot of chances, but still only 1-0 up. And now just shy of the half-hour mark, we are back on the attack yet again here. John Matthews makes his way towards the box, plays that back for Caviglia and receives the favour very shortly off the back of that. Just some short passing here down the right-hand side. Somehow that ball does fall back to John Matthews, puts that far post. Frederick Larsen clearly gets pushed in the back there, and this gives us another chance to make the scoreline 2-0 from the penalty spot. I believe it again will be Nathaniel Satole from the penalty spot. Can he slot this away like he did in the first game? The goalkeeper this time goes the right way, but the result is exactly the same. Nathaniel Satole gets his second goal of the season. These are probably the only goals he's going to get in this upcoming season as well, of course, because being a foreign player, not too sure if he's going to get too much game time, but we go 2-0 up here at the half-hour mark in the League Cup final. And not too long off the back of that second goal from the penalty spot, we do have a throw-in this time, our own one down the left-hand side. Can we extend this lead here in the first half and really put the foot down here on Akranes? Some good short passing here down the left-hand side. Meza plays it back to Satole, fizzes that into the box, and Benjamin Rubio picks up his third goal of the season. This is really what we should have been doing in the first game of today's episode. Finishing wise against Fylkir, we are looking a lot more clinical here in the League Cup final against Akranes. Maybe that's because some of these players are a bit more used to playing with each other in the same team, but that's good short passing. Satole finds Rubio, puts that in the right-hand corner. 3-0 Völsungur at the 32-minute mark. And just a few minutes shy of half-time, we do have a corner here. Caviglia will find Frederick Larsen from the near post. He's not the greatest aerial player, but puts that into the top right corner, and we are running away with this League Cup final here. 4-0 just shy of half-time. Our second goal from a corner. It's a really nice header that from Frederick Larsen. 4-0 up just shy of half-time. And that is half-time in this League Cup final here from the Husavik Heroes. We are absolutely dominating Akranes. They are yet to have a single shot in this game. All the stats in our favour, apart from fouls committed, so that is good. No changes to make here at halftime. Very happy with how things are going. Looking pretty safe here to pick up our 8th League Cup of the save. And only a few minutes into the second half, it was Akranes there in possession. They try and play a long ball over the top, but DePrisco is there to tidy things up, and Husavik plays this deep. Now Benjamin Rubio gets pushed in the back here. The referee is calling one of the Akranes players over, and he's going to show him a straight red card. Apparently, given an elbow there was Rubio, so I suppose that's fair enough. It did look pretty soft, but Akranes having a shocker here, down to 10 men and 4-0 down early in the second half. And coming towards the last 20 minutes of this one, it's been a very quiet second half so far, but Galtason down to a red heart, Basaroge to come on for him. And shortly off the back of that substitution, we do have our second highlight here of this half, a throw-in inside the final third down the right-hand side. Matthews finds Rubio. Zimmerman starts the cut infield and lets one rip into the top left corner. Did have a little bit of help there from the underside of the crossbar, but that is a wonderful goal from our French right winger, a player who would be leaving the club if a bid did come in for him of £1.4 million. We did agree that with him, which does seem cheap, I know, but that is still twice our record transfer fee here at Völsungur. But a good goal to put us 5-0 up here with just under 20 minutes left of this League Cup final. And up to the 75-minute mark now, we are going to make our second substitution. DePrisco is down to a red heart, so we're going to do a little bit of a shuffle around here because, of course, we have already brought on our midfield option in Basaroge. He can go back to centre-back, and we'll just do a little bit of a shuffle around here of our midfield because Mariano is supposed to be decent enough in the midfield. We'll just figure out which one of these other players is okay in that DM role between Satole and Caviglia. And Caviglia does have a little bit of a gold star there, so he can go on the DM role, Satole box to box, and Mariano in the Mazzala for these last 15 minutes as we are 5-0 up. And very shortly off the back of that second substitution, it is another little bit of a shuffle around here. That is because Chaka Traore will be coming on for Nathaniel Satole. Benjamin Rubio can play in the midfield. Frederick Larson can go up front. So I think that's what we're going to do here. Traore can go on the left-hand side. Frederick Larson to play as a striker for us in these last 14 minutes or so. But we still hold a very comfortable 5-0 lead here in this League Cup final. And we do have a highlight here inside the last 10 minutes of this League Cup final. Very much a thrown together team it is at this stage, with players being quite tired. Definitely an interesting midfield we do have here with two strikers, but we do get possession back there from an Akrones clearance as we do look to make it 6-0 late in this one. Rubio, nice ball over the top there for Nicholas Zimmerman. He bangs that into the top right corner. 2 second half goals here for our French right winger, and that will absolutely put a cherry on top of this League Cup final. We were a little bit scratchy in the semi-final against Fylkir, but have been very clinical in front of goal in this one. Nice ball over the top there from Benjamin Rubio. Just finds the foot of Zimmerman into the top right corner, and we are 6-0 up here in this League Cup final. And into injury time of this League Cup final, it has been very, very easy indeed. We have absolutely battered Akrones. They only got one shot off in that entire game. It wasn't on target. They went down to 10 men early there in the second half. In the end, a very, very easy win for us. And we pick up the League Cup for the 8th time in this save, the 2nd time in a row after Breidablik did defeat us in the semi-final a few seasons ago. And that's our first bit of silverware for this domestic season. A nice bounce back after going out early in European football this season, albeit it was our first time in the Champions League knockouts, but a good way to start off the domestic season. Our 8th League Cup off the back of a 6-0 win in the final against Akrones. And back in the inbox off the back of that win in the Mjólkurbikarinn, we have now won it 8 of the 9 times that we have been in that competition in this save. So it is certainly a competition we do have a great affinity with, and we pick up a very, very small amount of money for winning that final, but nonetheless, we do win it for the 8th time in this save and the 8th time in 9 years. As I did say before we do wrap up today's episode, we have also made a little bit of headway on signing a replacement for Gabriel Corbo as well. If we do go over to our shortlist for next window targets, you can see here we do have 2 centre-backs on our list. Peter Wozniak is the other guy that we have identified potentially as a replacement. He's actually a little bit cheaper than Elias Anderson, actually looks a little bit better as well, but unfortunately, because he can't see his wage demands, it does not look like he would be willing to join us at this time with the Czech centre-back who can also play midfield. You can see there, he looks like a very, very well-rounded ball-playing defender. He would be a great signing, but we have done some work on Elias Anderson, and we might be walking with Elias come tomorrow's episode because he does now have his wage demand showing. It is a big wage demand, but it does mean that we can now put an offer in for him, and hopefully he would be willing to accept that one, would Elias Anderson. That would pretty much do most of our work for this current transfer window, and from there we can sort of see what we do have left over and potentially try and get some bargain young players or some wonder kids into the club to try and boost our stocks of that and try and improve the quality of the homegrown club and nation players that we do have coming through the club here at Völsungur. But hopefully come tomorrow's episode, Elias Anderson or Peter Wozniak, if we can do some work on him, because he also potentially might want a little bit of a lower wage, only being on £3,600 a week at the moment, but we're making headway on our targets for this transfer window, and hopefully one of those centre backs will be at the club come the start of tomorrow's episode, and that episode is going to be our end of European season roundup as well. We'll get through that and see how teams did get on in the other European competitions by then. We will have played our first few games of the league season as well. The game that I think we're going to come back for is that one at the end of May, right around when the Champions League final will be taking place, and that game is against Breidablik. Potentially the more interesting matchup might be the Fylkir one, but we have just seen us play Fylkir, so I do think we'll come back just a little bit earlier and play that Breidablik game and see how we are getting on domestically then. And by then we might also be able to do a look through the squad as well if we have completed most of our first team transfer business. Do that before we do get into European qualifying in the early stages of next week. But if you did enjoy today's episode, picking up our 8th League Cup of the save and that new signing of Cullen Rakazan, even though he is still out currently injured, hopefully he'll be available for that game in tomorrow's episode against Breidablik, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. As I said, tomorrow we'll take on Breidablik, do an end of European season roundup, and we might also do a bit of a squad rundown as well if we've done the transfer business that we wanted to. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.